Welcome to 123 Minimize with Jody and Linnea, the podcast where we discuss easy minimalism for busy moms. Whether you're a new mom in need of practical decluttering tips or an experienced parent seeking simplified routines, you've come to the right place. I'm Jody, wife and full-time working mom of 4. In 2017, I founded the Minimalist Mom Facebook group, now with over 270,000 members. My passion is creating a simple, healthy, and happy home where my family can thrive.
I'm Linnea, a homeschooling mom of 4. In 2021, my family and I sold our house, downsized to a 36-foot travel trailer RV, and embraced minimalism. Living with less has been liberating, and I'm thrilled to share tips and experiences to help you simplify your life. Whether you're sitting down, getting stuff done, or lacing up your walking shoes, welcome to the 123 Minimize podcast.
Today, we are visiting with Danae from Texas. Danae is a stay-at-home mom with 1 daughter, and she has been married for almost 4 years. So, Danae, tell me a little bit about your life before you found minimalism.
It was definitely the opposite of minimalism. Let's just say that. We were we were easygoing, so we didn't really pay attention to the things we brought into our home. If we liked it, we got it. We weren't very organized people. I liked to organize things, but it wasn't like everything had a place at all the time. And I feel like before having a dog and before having a baby, things were a little more organized. So once they came into the picture, it got a little more cluttered and chaotic over time. I felt like all the flat surfaces in our house became drop zones, and we don't have much storage space in our house, which we didn't even notice until we had a baby. So it's like everything got filled very quickly before I found minimalism.
Yeah, absolutely. I can relate to that a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Me too, totally. So can you recall a specific moment or event that set you on the minimalism path?
Yeah. So while during nesting period, because my daughter, she's almost a year old, so I guess a couple years ago now. We were reorganizing and setting up the nursery, and we realized we didn't have storage space for things that we still wanted, but now it doesn't have a home. And our friends, we actually have a friend who's more minimalist, and she would give me tips and tricks of things to do and try, and I really liked them and it was fun. But it never clicked for me. And then one day my husband, and this is post baby now, she was our baby was 3 or 4 months, and as they get bigger, their toys get bigger, their stuff gets bigger. And my husband, who works from home, he was I need an office. We don't have an office for him. And so he was we need a new house. And so as we started, our realtor kind of told us hey, go ahead, just start packing up all the things you don't use, your seasonal stuff, go ahead and pack that stuff up. That way, when you are ready to put your house on the market, that's half the chore, right? And then so as we started doing that, we were packing things up, and I was do I really want to unpack this at the next house? And then we're do we really want to take this to the next house? And it kind of just started from there. And then I was okay. And then we were purging and getting rid of stuff right before December, because we knew presents were going to come in for the first Christmas and all this stuff.
Yep.
And so we were we were just trying to get rid of stuff to make room for more stuff, unfortunately. But it, that's kind of where it started, was just trying to pack up our house so that we can move to somewhere with a little more spaces for everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's so relatable. I think a lot of other moms would probably really relate to that. Just all the changes with having your first baby. I mean, that's a huge change in your life. And I know that before I had kids, I definitely did not have as much stuff in my house, but it's hard to keep up with it when you start adding all the things that a new person brings. So I think that's totally relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So how has, in general, finding minimalism and decluttering your home affected your day-to-day routine and your life?
I feel for like, it kind of gave me something else to do other than just taking care of the baby, especially when they're first born. Like, they're actually kind of easier sometimes if
Hmm.
you're lucky to have a sleeper.
Yep.
Then you can get up and do things that it doesn't require, whether you're nursing, pumping, or cleaning bottles, or trying to just, remember to take a shower as a new mom.
Mhm.
Like that's a hard one too. But like on top of it, like I felt like I needed something else to do. And I was like, just cleaning the house at that time was just the last thing on my mind, which there's grace for that as a new mom. But at the same time, like over time, it became overwhelming for me. And I just reached the point where like I couldn't even do anything. I was like, everything overwhelms me. My baby's my only focus. And like, that's good. But I do need to remember like I need to take care of the house too. And so one day, as she got more mobile, and she was a little more independent, I was like, okay, I can do one task while she's paying attention to something. And that's kind of when I would start like cluttering something, or like, because y'all have the calendars like for like each month. So I would like look at what day it was and like see if I could work on that really quickly. And so that was really
Mhm.
helpful for a little bit. But
Yeah, that's so good to hear. I'm so glad it was helpful. Yeah, we have the free downloadable like calendar for each month of decluttering tasks on our website and on our Facebook
Mhm.
page and in our big Facebook group, Minimalist Mom. So I'm glad
Mhm.
that worked out for you. I know it feels overwhelming sometimes, like a whole calendar of tasks, but I tell people like you could use it like a bingo board and just see what you get done. It doesn't have to even be following by the day, unless you want it to and it works, but it could just be almost a checklist too of see maybe you got 3 things done in one day and then nothing for the rest of the week, right? It's all good because it
yeah.
just rotates and eventually you get where you want to be,
Yeah, and I see like there are some days where I'm like, oh, I don't really, that doesn't pertain to me. So I can focus on something else in my house, or I can actually, I don't know, clean the dishes that day or something. But yeah, yeah. But overall, like I've noticed as I've decluttered more, like everything just started feeling lighter and easier to manage,
Mm.
which at first
Mhm.
it got to a point where I was like, whoa, what happened? I have no time or energy for this anymore. So it
Yes.
has
Mhm.
been so helpful.
Mm.
Great.
That's
Awesome.
wonderful. So, what would you say has been the hardest area for you to declutter?
For us, it kind of the kitchen is one of those like spaces. Like we both love to cook, so we have all the fun kitchen gadgets, all the little fancy tools. We like that stuff. So decluttering the kitchen is a little hard for us. I would also say for me personally, though, is like I have a whole little storage cabinet for craft supplies and like just like
Oh.
coloring, crafting, artsy stuff, and I've collected that over the years. So it's hard for me to go through that and get rid of stuff too some days.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that's actually like on my next the next thing I really need to go do is tackle that.
Yeah, I think everybody has something in their home, that's like, oh, this is going to be hard, whether it's craft supplies or, because you've invested money into it with the expectation of using it. So it's sometimes hard to get rid of it, or sentimental items, or like you said, the kitchen, something that you use a lot. And if you're going to use it, then keep it, right? Like if you have a plan for it, you're for sure going to use it, or even if it is a funny gadget, but you use it every week, great. It's in the rotation, keep it, right? Because minimalism might look one way, like on a YouTube influencer, or another way in real life.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's how it feels for us. And then there's some things like I found the other day when we went through our kitchen, I found like these little sushi trays. I'm like, I forgot we had these. I remember when we used them every day for a whole week way back in 2018. But I was like, I completely forgot we had them. So it's kind of funny to see what we did have and once used, but now it like doesn't pertain to us anymore. Like you can see that how we've changed over the years and evolved as people now that we're
Mhm.
married and now that we have kids and dogs and things like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
What would you say if there's any like one item that was your hardest thing to get rid of, and what was your easiest thing to get rid of during your decluttering process?
Mm. We did have a set of chairs that sat at our island. I felt like those were kind of hard for us to part with because we hung on to them. We actually got rid of the table that it went with, and we hung on to them because it was nice to have, but then we realized like we were never going to use them. And if we do move to another home, like we're just going to get new chairs that match the house because these did not match. We've had them for years. So I think that was hard to part with because we've had them for so long and they went to all of our different apartments. But the easy thing for me to declutter was coat hangers. I got rid of all the ones that like didn't match, like the ones from the store. People use those all the time for their own things, and we did too for a while. But once we started cleaning out the closet, we opened all these coat hangers up again. So we got rid of lots of those.
Nice. So you mentioned that your husband was feeling the need for space for his office. So would you say that he's been on board with this minimalist journey that you're on?
He, yes and no. Like he doesn't want to be like full blown minimalist, which I don't blame him because I don't think I quite want to get there either.
Mhm.
But because we still like our things that make us us, But he has a hard time partying with stuff, and I get it. I'm the same way, so I totally understand. But he does feel like he needs a more designated space for his things, which we both feel that way. Like I need a place where I can craft all day long whenever my daughter's old enough to do that, instead of having to clean up the dining room area so I can bring it all downstairs. And by the time I set it up, it's nap time. So it's like I'd like to have a working space like that as well. So he would like to have a working space where he can shut the door and he doesn't hear any noises from us. Because right now he's out in like our open living room that like we have a living area upstairs. And so he hears all the noise all day long. And he has put in like his AirPods so he can't hear us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I feel for him, like, so he does need an office, but yeah, he has gotten more on board over time though. I've been surprised by the different things he's decided to get rid of and like also purge as we're packing things up. And he's like, oh, I really don't need this anymore. And then some of the things he hangs on to, I'm like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah. That's great. It's all about mindset, right? So I feel like
Yeah.
it can just take a long time, but if you have that mindset to go through kind of like your mental checklist, then over the years, you're just going to not keep accumulating and accumulating. It'll kind of keep at the same level that makes you happy, kind of gives you that space to put your stuff and have everything have a place. So it's really easy to clean your house and really quick to clean your house. I don't know. I've said many times it's like peeling an onion, right? So the first time you go
Mhm.
through, maybe with a move, you're going to take off a layer of stuff. And then later, when you're reorganizing another room, you're going to take off another layer of stuff. And as you get better and better at deciding what you really use and what really makes you happy and what really brings you joy, then you're just going to know exactly what you want in your house without all the decision fatigue or maybe I'll need this someday, all the stuff that's hard in the beginning. It gets to be really easy. Like, yep, I want that. No, I'm not even going to bring that into my home.
Yeah, I totally agree, especially with the decision fatigue. I feel like everyone has experienced that at one point or another. So yeah, we have that pretty bad in our house.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we've been packing though, it has been nice to think like, oh, like we don't need this in our next house, or this is something we'll upgrade so we can just get rid of it now because why pack it if we're just gonna get rid of it?
Yeah.
So that has been nice to think about. But yeah, I agree. It's all about the mindset. And I feel like my mind has shifted. And I think once I started purging more items, he was like, okay, I can do this too.
Mhm.
He's not as aggressive about it yet, but that's okay. I don't blame him.
Yeah. It's a journey. So you were in our decluttering event. In the process of that, you mentioned that you spent some time reevaluating your family's core values and did some journaling. Could you share a little bit about how that helped you?
Yeah, like because for the first day, y'all had us do like all these journal prompts or whatever,
Hmm.
and as I was filling them out, I realized like the decluttering or minimalism goes so much deeper than, like you said, like it's an onion, like there's so many different layers to it. And it isn't just about the stuff around your house. It's like, how is the stuff in the house affecting you? And how is it
Yeah.
affecting the people in the house? And I was like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, like this goes so much deeper than I realized. And
Mhm.
I was like, wow, like I think a lot of the stress I feel isn't because I'm a new mom and we're new parents and we're just trying to figure this out. It's actually because we're not tackling all this other stuff in our house that doesn't need to be there. And I feel like once we started decluttering and once I started getting rid of things and making spaces easier to kind of just clean up, it felt
Mhm.
everything felt a little bit easier too. Like I can be a mom and I can keep the house a little organized. I'm not perfect
Mhm.
every day, but I can at least it's more attainable than it was 5, 6 months ago. And it
Mm.
feels like, and as she grows, it'll get easier too, because then she can help out or I can try to teach her how to clean. I don't know how much help she'll be because she's not much help right now, but I can try, right?
Oh, I really love that. I feel like it's like this empowering moment where you maybe come to minimalism thinking, I don't know if life can be any different. I don't know how I can be a mom and have an orderly house. But then to go through that process and realize I can. And maybe it's not perfect, like you said, but I can, be the mom I want to be present, and then also still have the home that's somewhat organized and easy to clean. And I'm not spending all day cleaning. That's so empowering. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I also know that someone's definitely going to resonate with you because you also shared with us during the event that you had some life stuff that was going on and that could have interfered with your progress that you were making with decluttering your home. But you had a mindset shift and it changed things for you. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, for me, like when the hard stuff starts piling on, it's not just a little bit at a time, it's all at once. And so it's
Mhm.
like that one week is just nope, nothing else happens. I'm focusing on the hard stuff and like that for me, it always sets me back and I used to be really hard about myself about it. Like I definitely used to say like, oh, well, it's okay you're not doing it today, but then next week when that is all over with, I'm like, oh, you should have done that last week instead of reminding
Mhm.
myself, no, it was hard last week. Like you had no time, you had no energy for that. So for me, it was nice. Like I can do one small thing today. And if
Mhm.
that's just rearranging the sock drawer or just rearranging the bathroom drawer or whatever, like I got one thing done and that is plenty. And it also helped me kind of take my mind off of everything that was going on too. So that was kind of
Mhm.
nice. I got to check out for a little bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, like life happens and so you're gonna have
Yeah.
hard days. You're gonna have hard weeks and you're not gonna get it all done. Not everything can be perfect all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I think if you can accept that, then everything else should be a little bit easier, right? At
Yeah,
least
for
we
Yes.
hope.
sure. Yeah, for sure. That's a really great perspective and attitude, I think, to have for life. Really
Yes.
excellent. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I do want to also ask, what made you decide to join the decluttering event? Because, you were in probably getting the free calendars in the other groups. And so what like gave you that push to join the month-long event?
Yes, I at first I was on the fence because I wasn't quite sure if I would have like the energy for it. That's a big thing for me. Like if I don't have the energy, I don't want to do
Mm-hmm.
it. But it was like one of those things. I reached that point in our like packing and purging and cleaning and decluttering. I kind of reached that point where like I hit a wall and I wasn't sure like what to tackle next. Which I
Mm.
think a lot of people reach that point and
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Like what's the harm in it? Like what are they can't first of all, y'all can't penalize me if I don't do it. But I maybe y'all can encourage me and the accountability is what the push I need to keep going and maybe get new ideas or spark new energy to keep going. And And throughout the event, I actually got a momentum to keep going, which was really nice.
Oh,
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Me too. So, after going through the event and making some changes in your life, what would you say to someone else who is on the fence about getting started?
Um, I was definitely in your shoes once. I used to think minimalism was just not for me. I'm like, no, that's not me, which I don't even know why I ever thought that. But it's so much more than that. Like we said, like it's all about the different layers and making it
Mhm,
work for you too. Like what works for you, it doesn't work for me.
mhm,
And you might like nothing in your house, but I need a few things in my house. And so I think it's just about starting small. If you're the kind of person that has a box of stuff that you refuse to go through because it's a rabbit hole, and once
mhm,
you see one thing, it reminds you of another thing, and you remember another thing, then don't touch that box. Don't start there.
mhm,
Go start with something small, something easy, like the utensil drawer. Everyone has one. Everyone
mhm,
uses them. It's probably dirty if you haven't touched it in a few weeks, few months, or or years,
Mm-hmm.
like me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's like just start somewhere where like you can even have the TV on in the background, or yeah,
mhm,
like I think just starting small, seeing how it makes you feel, and then maybe it'll just spark from there. And for me,
mm.
like having the calendars, they actually helped because there would be days I'm like, I don't know what to touch, and I don't want to touch that. So I could look there. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me go through the games today. That sounds more fun than going through the kitchen or the bathroom.
Yes, I love that. And I love what you said about like put on the TV, throw on a podcast, put on some music, right? It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be boring. Sometimes I can just whip through tons of stuff. If I have a little bit of distraction, that's like fun for me. I don't
yeah.
even notice it went by, talking on the phone to a friend, something, and I get so much done. I'm like, wow, that was actually kind of fun instead of, oh my goodness, this is taking forever. I don't want to do this, you know? So that's really a great tip that you just mentioned there. How does your extended family feel about you and your husband starting on this journey of minimalism?
My mom is who got me hooked onto the buy nothing Facebook groups.
Love it.
She's on one in her neighborhood, and I'm like, oh, another buy nothing thing. I used to roll my eyes at it, but now I tell her, I'm like, you're not gonna believe how much stuff I got rid of this week on buy nothing. And so I think her watching her mindset has changed over the years because her her mom is, I guess, what you could call a hoarder.
Hmm.
And so she doesn't want to be her mom, and I don't want to be her mom either.
Hmm.
So I've been watching her kind of like try to get rid of things and make sure like she's getting rid of stuff faster than I am, but she's also, I think she's been working on it a few more years than I have. So, but
Mhm.
I think she's excited to see me do it as well. Like, so she doesn't want me to also turn that way. And
Yeah.
I think we both don't want that. And then with other people, I know my in-laws, we tell them like, hey, like we don't want any stuff in our house yet. Like, if you could just hold on, if you have toys, just keep them at your house for now until we have a better space for them. Like, they've been pretty understanding of it as well. Like, thankfully
Mm,
most people have been more understanding, but
mm.
we haven't really encountered someone that's like, "Ah, what do you mean you don't want more stuff in your house?" So that it has been encouraging to know like other people are supportive.
That's beautiful. It's so good when family is supportive of your decisions and when they get involved or when you're getting involved with what they're doing, it's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So, is there anything else that you would like to share with us about your minimalism journey?
I feel like just for me, it has opened up so many different like perspectives and new like outlooks on life because for me, like I've said before, like all the stress that this house and all the clutter around the house was adding to my life, like once I saw it like disappearing, it has it's been refreshing, and
Mm,
I feel a little bit lighter. The mental load doesn't feel so heavy. And one thing that we've also done is we've incorporated new little systems like in the kitchen, because that's like one of our big areas. It's like a dumping zone, like everything goes in the kitchen. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have like a little checklist, and at the end of the day, like without me, and it's nice to I have it written out so that my husband doesn't have to come ask me, which is also nice. I think a lot of moms and wives know what I'm talking about. But it's just like bottles, like make sure all the bottles are clean for tomorrow. And make sure the sink is empty, which is nice, because the dirty sink, they pile up. Throwing all the trash away, like the visible trash, and then just picking up all the kids' toys and putting them in the little shelf that they belong. So getting that done and just resetting our like the downstairs for our home each night has been significantly like it changes everything. It's night and day, I feel like. Because now I wake up and I don't feel like I have to start out by doing something. It's already
Yeah.
done and I can just
Yeah.
start fresh. Now we don't do it
Mm.
every day. We're not perfect, but it's small, it's simple, and it can be
Mhm.
done throughout the evening. Like as we're cleaning up after dinner, let's go ahead and just, mark off the dishes in the sink by putting them away and then going from there. So it's been nice. Very nice, I
Mm.
will say.
That's wonderful. That is such a different way to start your day off, just with a clean slate. When we don't do that, and I wake up and I go into the kitchen just to do breakfast, it's just like, oh, like I'm not even hardly awake, and I'm just overwhelmed with all the the mess. So I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, that one was I was not sure like how I feel about it because some people call it closing duties, and I'm like, oh, I used to work in restaurants, like don't remind me of that. But then I was like, once I realized, I'm like, no, it's kind of just like resetting everything. It's nice because then you want to leave it the way you want to find it, and
Mhm.
it's not for everyone. I get it. Some systems just don't work for everyone, but for us, it has worked. And it's nice to wake up not feeling already stressed out by whatever the day is about to bring.
That's great.
We really do appreciate you taking the time to visit with us and to share about your minimalism journey and your experience with the Declutter group. We are so happy that it was helpful to you and that you're able to use the resources that we put out there. We just love that. We love that so much. And for sharing your wisdom that you've gathered over the years on this topic. And we just hope that it is a good motivation to people that are listening to this and that they feel connected. And I just really love that you took the time to share with us.
Yeah, thank
Mhm.
you for having me.
Yeah, we love it.
This is a great time to mention our upcoming Spring Declutter event in April 2024. We will be holding a 4-week Facebook event that has been designed to help you reach your minimalist goals. We will provide you with all the tools and the structure that you need to be successful. You'll receive a 70-plus page workbook and be a part of a private Facebook group for connection and accountability. We'll also provide you with guidance through daily tasks, tips, prizes, and coaching. Registration is now open at our website, and we would love to have you join us. We hope you enjoyed delving into this topic with us and found a few tips that might help you on your journey. We want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our amazing listeners for tuning in. Your support and curiosity are what keeps us going. For more tools and resources to help you on your journey toward a simpler life, visit our website, www.123minimize.com. If you found today's episode valuable, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an opportunity to explore new ideas and perspectives. And if you're inclined, leave us a review, which helps to spread the word to others who might enjoy the journey too. As always, feel free to connect with us on Facebook or Instagram to share your thoughts, suggestions, or just to say hi. Until next time, stay motivated. Take care.